Hello learners, welcome you all to Economics Fundamentals. In my previous class, I told you about the introduction of economics and its physical parts, means the various parts which are conventionally involved in economics, such as the consumption, the production and the distribution. But apart from these conventional parts, there is a wide scope for numerical data. Hence, the scope and the need for statistics arises in the field of economics. So, in today's class, I am going to tell you about the evolution and meaning of statistics, its scope, functions, importance and limitations as well. So let's begin. From today's onward, we will be dealing with the book of Statistics for Economics, subject matter of class 11th. So here we begin. I have written the word statistics at the top and its derivation. So statistics has derived from these two words. These two words separately. This word is statistic, which is a word from German language. So this word has been derived from the German language. German language. What does it means? It means government. Okay. The meaning of this statistic is government. It is the word which is derived from German language. Now one more word is here, status, because in some books it has been written that statistics has been derived from the Latin word status. So it is the word of Latin language. Latin language. The meaning of this status is state. So more or less the meaning of both these words is quite similar, means government or state. Though we know that statistics term is nothing new in the field of economics or in the field of our day-to-day life. It is a term which was prevailing even long back before the Christian era as well. That time the kings, the emperors were used to have some statistical data. But officially the statistical term was used by German mathematician, the German mathematician Gottfried Eichenwald. So Gottfried Eichenwald was the first mathematician who used this term statistics. So that is why he is known as the father of statistics. So Gottfried Eichenwald is known as father of statistics. He was a German mathematician. Why he is known as father of statistics? Because he is the one who used this term statistics for numerical facts or numerical data very first time. So in simple words, we can say that statistics is the study of numbers. It is the study of numbers relating to selected facts in a systematic form. So now you can pause the video to note it down, then I will tell you its meaning. Dear students, as far as the meaning of statistics is concerned, it has its two meaning. The first one is statistics as a singular noun or in a singular sense, and the second one is statistics in a plural sense, as I have written here on the board. So first I will read it for you. In a singular sense, statistics may be defined as collection, organization, presentation analysis and interpretation of numerical data. This is going to be your syllabus as well, because after the completion of introduction unit, you will be able to know about the collection of data. So this whole is the subject matter of statistics as well. So it is the meaning of statistics in singular sense. The collection, say for example, the method of collecting is mainly of two types: the census method and the sampling method of collection. Then the organization, the data which is collected is in raw form, so it may be edited, then it may be presented. First it may be edited, and then it may be presented in the form of the tabular tables, or in the form of diagram, in the form of graph. So there are mainly two types of presentation: the graphical presentation as well as diagrammatic presentation. So then after the presentation, we came to know its analysis. Analysis required the mathematical techniques or tools by which we can analyze the collected data. Analysis needs or we can use the technique like measures of central tendency, measures of variation, dispersion, index number, correlation, etc. So by using these techniques of mathematical tools, we can analyze the data which is available with us, in which has been presented earlier. Then we came to know the interpretation. Interpretation is quite a difficult task, as it required high skill of knowledge and experience, because we came to know, after the analysis we came to know we came to drive a conclusion over the data which has been operated so far. In all these steps, the collection, the organization, the presentation and analysis. So after analysis, we have to draw a conclusion. So only experts can conclude the this statistical data. So this is all about the meaning of statistics in singular sense. Now we will be able to know the meaning of statistics in plural sense. Statistics in plural sense is simply a numerical data. The numerical data which can possess the following qualities, or which can have the following characteristics. What are the following characteristics? The first one is aggregate of facts. The data which is isolated in nature is of no use in statistics. So statistics require the aggregation of facts. Say for example, a boy whose earning is 10,000 per month. So it is of no use in statistics. If we have the 10 members family and all the members are earning various invariably, like the 10,000, the 5,000, the 7,000 and like this. So then we came to know its average, the average income of that family. Or suppose we take the 10 families all together and then we add up all these incomes, and then we came to know the average income of these 10 families, or the family which are living in a particular street, the families which are living in a particular colony or city or town, etc. So aggregate of facts is required. Isolated data is of no use in statistics. The second feature must be affected to market extent by multiplicity of causes. There are multiple factors which can affect its consequences. And then the third point is numerically expressed. The values can be expressed numerically. If the values are not expressed numerically, it means they are not statistics. Then collected in a systematic manner. The data collected in a haphazard manner will give you the wrong conclusion. the wrong conclusion will lead to the wrong formulation of the policies. So that is why the data which is collected, that must be in systematic manner. So now you can pause the video to note it down, then I will tell you the scope of statistics. Now, as you know that statistics is the collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. So on the basis of this definition, as far as the scope of statistics is concerned, it is as follows, as I have written here. The first one is collection of data. Collection of data is the first step of data collection of numerical facts, as it provides the foundation for the statistical analysis. And the second step is the organization of data. The data which is collected has to be organized in such a manner that will provide a clear-cut picture. It should be based on the classes, the class interval, or some specific criteria by which it can provide the ease for the further analysis or further mathematical analysis. The third one is presentation of data. After the organization of data, the presentation takes place. The presenting the data, there are two main techniques, as I told you earlier also when I was telling you about the definition of statistics. So the organization or the presentation, the techniques for presenting data is diagrammatic presentation and graphical presentation, which can ease the further mathematical calculations. Then after the presentation, we will arrive over the analysis. Yes, analysis of course require the mathematical tools and techniques. So with the help of various indices such as the mean, mode, median, the dispersion and the correlation, the index number, etc., we came to analyze the data which has been collected so far. Then in statistical investigation, at the last step, we came to know the interpretation. In this step, we interpret the results which has been arrived from this analysis of data. Hence, it is the most important step and the most important scope for statistics, because it requires the high skills of experience and knowledge. So that is why experts can use of it in a better way. So this is what the scope of statistics is all about. Now I will tell you the importance of statistics. As far as the importance of statistics in economics is concerned, dear students, it must be noted that the importance of statistics is growing day by day. Now it provides the indispensable tools by which the economist came to know what are the problems arising and what can be the policies for their formulations or to tackle with these problems. So as far as the importance of statistics is concerned, it goes like this. The first one is statistical methods help analyze problem and formulate policies. Yes, as I told you that it is indispensable tools which the economists use, and then they came to know the problem. Yes, of course, it is addressing some serious problems which are prevailing in the societies, and then when at some point of time when the result has arrived, the cause has arrived, that why this problem is persisting, so then the suitable policies can be formulated after the problem can identified, and after the identification of the problem, after the identification of the cause of the problem, and then the suitable policies can be formulated. So it is highly useful in the formulation of policies and analyze the problem. At second point, I have written, it finds economic relationship using data and verifies them. Yes, of course, it finds the economic relationship between the various datas. Like for example, if we can say that economists may be interested to know that what will be the consequences of the general price level if the government expenditure will increase. The economist may be interested to know that whether the consumption expenditure will increase of a household if the average income will increase. What kind of relationship will be there between the price of a commodity and its quantity demanded, and what will be the effects over the quantity supplied if the price of own commodity will increase. So in similar way, the economist may be interested to find such type of relationship in various theories, various principles the economists have depicted. They have decided certain assumptions. Then they will analyzed and they will verify whether these assumptions are true or not. So in this way they build a relationship between various economic variables and then verifies them with the help of this statistical techniques or statistical investigation. At third point, it plays a vital role in decision making. Yes, of course. Say for example, suppose India wants to know that what will be, we know that rising oil prices in all over the world. If India wants to know that what will be the import volume of the oil from the Gulf countries or from the OPEC nations, so what will be the volume which is required to import in the form of oils. So for this estimation, first the government has to analyze its ability for domestic ability for the production of oil. Means what will be the amount of domestic production of oil, and then what will be the demand, the future demand which will be arise in the year of 2025 after seeing the previous trends. Means what was the demand in 2019, what is the demand for the current year, that is 2020. Though nowadays the pandemic of COVID-19 is prevailing everywhere in the world, so the circumstances have been changed. So to know the general trends, the government has to look backward, means has to look back before 2 or 3 years back. Then they came to know what is the trend of demand for the crude oil, and then they can analyze, they can be rough estimate, or they can evolve that what will be the amount of import, the volume of import of crude oil which will be required in 2025. So without the help of statistics, it is quite impossible to have certain decisions. So it will be highly helpful for decision making and plays a key role, vital role for decision making. Now I will tell you about the functions of statistics. So as far as the functions of statistics is concerned, it goes like this. First one is, it presents facts in definite form. It presents facts in definite form. Now let's take an example. Suppose this statement goes like this, that the production of rice in the year of 2017-18 is more than the year of 2009 and 10. So this statement will not give the clear picture for the reader. If, however, if we quantify the statement in such a manner that the production of rice was 89.14 million tons. Suppose the production of rice was 89.14 million, I am writing here M for million, and then ton, million tons in 2009 and 10. Okay. While in 2017 and 18 it grew as 111.01 million tons in 2017-18. So this statement will provide a clear picture for the reader. So it presents facts in definite form. The second one is it helps in condensing mass data into few numerical forms. Yes, of course, it condenses the mass data into a few numerical forms, say for example in the form of averages like the mean, the mode, the median, the measures of dispersion as well, the covariance, and many more. So it condenses the data which is available in the form of masses. Like suppose we want to know the average height of class 11th. So, and suppose the class 11th consists of 40 students. So we have to memorize all the heights of all the students. It is quite difficult. But when we calculate individually, we measures the height of each and every student, then we add up all the value and we divide it by the numbers, which is 40, then we came to know its average. So it is easy to memorize, it is easy to know the average height of the class, the average income of the family. So hence it condenses the masses of data into a few numerical forms. Now the third one is it facilitates comparison. Yes, of course, it facilitates comparison. If we say that in the year of 2019-20, the production of rice is 120 million ton in comparison to the year of 2017-18, whether it was 111.01 million tons. So it is providing the picture of comparison. So it facilitates comparison. When we will be arrived with the conclusion. So the statistical data must possess the feature of comparison with the same kind of data. Suppose we are taking the height of the average height of class 11th in Kendriya Vidyalaya Ranikhet, and then we take the average height of class 11th in Kendriya Vidyalaya Bhimtal. Then we can compare these two averages, that whose average is larger and whose average is lesser. So we can be able to know with the help of this statistics, that say it facilitates comparison. Then it helps in prediction. Yes, of course, we can predict with the help of statistical tools, with the help of statistical analysis. One can predict. If the government wants to know that what will be the effect over the national income with that much of increase in the level of investment, so that can only be known with the help of statistical tools. So this facility will be provided by statistics only. Then at the last, it has been written, it helps in formulation of plans and policies. Yes, of course, it will be highly helpful for the formulation of plans and policies. When I was dealing with the importance of statistics, then I told you about the formulation of policies, that if the government wants to know that what will be the future demand of say for example crude oil, so then it came to know with the help of the statistical analysis, the statistical tools. So in this way it will be highly helpful in the formulation of future plans and policies. Suppose government wants to know what will be the consumption expenditure for the year of 2020, so it has to look back or it has to look about the trends that during the 2019 what was the consumption expenditure, so what was the level of consumption that time. So from the previous trends one can easily be able to know what will be the future trends, or what can be the future value, the future expectations. So without the statistical analysis we cannot be able to have this kind of expectations or this kind of formulation of plans and policies. So you can pause the video to note it down. Then the last section, we have arrived the last section for today's class, which is the limitation of statistics. So dear students, now we have arrived over the last component or last section of today's class, which is what is called as the limitations of statistics. As we know that nobody is perfect, nothing is perfect in this world. So hence the statistics is not an exception. It has certain limitations on which so many people criticize its functionality. The first one is it studies the numerical facts only. As I told you, the qualitative statements are not relevant to statistics. They are not statistics at all. Statistics required only the numerical data, the numerical facts. So it is the first limitation of the statistics. The second one goes like this: it is the study of aggregates. Okay, the first we have done, it studies the numerical facts only, and it is the study of aggregates. Yes, as when we were dealing with the meaning of statistics in plural sense, so it is the numerical data which has the feature of aggregation of facts. So if data is available in the aggregation, then yes, it is the statistical data or a statistical statement. If any statement is isolated in its form, then it is of no use. It has no importance in the field of statistics. So the second limitation is it is the study of aggregates only. The third one is results are true on average. Though its results are mathematically proven, they are true, but on average only. As I have given you the example in just before some time when I was telling you about the general perception, when I had given the example of average height of class 11th of say for example KV Ranikhet and the average height of class 11th of KV Bhimtal. So the height is on an average only, though it does not provide the true picture. So average has its own certain limitations which are very serious in nature. This we will be dealing while we will be dealing the measures of central tendency in details. What are the other limitations of average? So hence the results are true, but they are on an average only. Then reference is must. If anything is being told, if anything is being formulated, so it must be with the reference. Like for example, suppose I tell you that the per capita income, suppose I tell you that the per capita income, or what is called as average income of a country, means for calculating per capita income the formula is very simple, as you have studied in class 10th as well. The total population divided by total income of the country. So the per capita income, suppose we take the two countries, say for example the US and the India. Okay, the per capita income of US is suppose $1,500 and the income per capita income of India is 2000. Okay, I remove dollar from here. It has been written that 1500 the per capita income of US and the per capita income of India is 2000. So now there is no proper reference available over here. So it is not providing the clear picture. Reference must be there, that it is in the form which kind of currency, whether it is in the form of rupees or it is in the form of dollar. Yes, in US, United States, dollar prevails, dollar is their currency. So it may be in the form of dollar and it may be in the form of rupees. So now if we want to make a comparison, then we have to convert this one into rupees as well. Now the exchange rate of dollar into rupees is 70 something, it is more than 70. So for the simple reference we can take it as 70. So we have to multiply it by 70 first, then we came to know this figure in terms of rupees as well. Then of course we should know in which year we are talking for. So years must be mentioned over here. So reference must be there. This is the limitation of stats or statistics. The last one is it can be used by experts only. As we know that when we came to know about the interpretation of the results, after the analysis, when we interpret the results or the outcome, then it needs the high level of skills of knowledge and experience. So that is why only experts can take the benefits of statistics. So that's all for the limitations for statistics is all about, and hope you all have understood. So in this way the introduction part of statistics has been finished off. I hope you all are getting and you all will be benefiting. Thank you for watching.